Hey everyone, this is Jason Algie. I've been a real estate agent now for about 11 and a half years, and in that time, I've had some absolutely incredible stories and experiences happen. I want to start putting them on video for a couple reasons. One, I think they're highly entertaining. Some of the things that have happened are just hilarious. For instance, the time I had my hands on a cop hood and I thought I was getting arrested. That's coming at a later date. But also, I just want to remember them. I want to put them on, and maybe one day when I'm retired, I'll come back and visit my channel and have a good laugh at some of these things that have happened over the course of 11 years or soon to be 20 years or whatever. So I want to start today with one of my favorite stories that happened, and this was early on in my career. It's the time I got scammed all the way to a closing table. In 2015, I had a Zillow lead where somebody inquired on a home, and it comes to me because I advertised on Zillow, and they wanted to see a home. So I immediately said, yep, let's go. When do you want to see it? And we scheduled it for the next day. When I got to the home, I always ask them the same questions. What are you looking for? How can I help you? I don't ever assume they're going to make an offer on the very first house they look at. That's not how real estate usually works. So I wanted to try to help and try to gain some information. Maybe I had a house in mind that they'd go look at, just try to see if I can help. As we were in the house, he informed me that he had liver cancer. He wanted to purchase a house for his wife and his family so that they would be a little bit set up and protected in the event he would pass away. Now, the wife kept saying, you're going to be fine, but he wasn't really having it, and he wanted to look at some homes. Obviously, I was concerned and I wanted to help, so we ended up looking at 3 or 4 more homes, and the last home we looked at was a flip home in Findlay, and we ended up writing an offer on it. The offer was very simple, 7-day closing, 3 days for earnest money, 3 days for inspection. Let's get this thing down the road. Let's get this done quickly, just again, in case something happened. The process began like any other process. We scheduled a home inspection. We took care of that. And while we're at the home inspection, I said, hey, by the way, I have not received your earnest money yet. We need to get that turned in. He said, no problem. He'll have it to my office tomorrow. The next day came and went, and I have no earnest money. But I did get a voicemail from the guy in tears saying he's in the hospital. He had a flare-up. He's hoping to get out in a couple days, but he can't give me the earnest money. While I was on the phone, he thanked me for everything I was doing to help his family. I'm really doing him a solid, and he's laying it on very thick. And of course, at the time, I believed the guy. He says he's got liver cancer. Why wouldn't you believe him? But now we're getting closer to closing. Like I said, it's only a 7-day contract, so this is going very quickly. And I actually talked to the agent. I said, hey, I don't have any earnest money. Well, earnest money is kind of a joke in Ohio, and that's another day. But the agent understood what was going on, and she said, yeah, let's just get to closing. He'll just add $500 onto the proceeds he needs to bring to closing. Won't be a big deal. Now we're to closing day, and this is where it gets interesting. He shows up to sign his papers, and on a cash deal, there's only 5 or 7 documents to sign. It really takes no time at all. Once they get done signing their documents, the title attorney asks for the proceeds. That's usually how it works in a closing. You bring money to a closing. But in this case, he said, I have not been able to go to the bank yet today to get the cashier's check. Now, back in the good old days of real estate, cashier's checks were okay. In today's world, we have to wire money, but again, that's another story. At this point, red flags are now starting to go up. I have no earnest money. I have no money here for a closing of a house, and I'm thinking something might be wrong here. So I go out and talk to the listing agent, the seller. Now, typically you're working for your buyer and all this, but at this point, I almost feel like I'm working for the seller. So I go out there and I'm like, hey, he has no money here. What do we do? The listing agent, fantastic lady, love her to death. She taught me so much when I worked in the same company as her. She's now a retired real estate agent, but Carol, if you're watching this, I hope you remember the story because it's one of my favorites. But anyway, we all agree something's fishy here, so I went back in and I said, hey, go get your check. We'll sit here and wait. We got all day. So he goes to the bank, and in the meantime, the title attorney said, he mentioned he spoke to somebody at Fifth Third Bank. I know the guy, so I'm going to call him and see what's going on. So she makes a phone call. During that call, the banker says, somebody came in here with a very similar name to that, trying to cash a check and turn it into a cashier's check. We couldn't do that because we couldn't verify the funds. And there you have it. He was hoping everybody would sign papers without having any money there, and it would get transferred to him without having to bring any money to closing. I don't think it was ever going to work. I don't know what his plan was, but he tried to scam me all the way to a closing table. So in the end, the seller ultimately sold their home. The listing agent was compensated during that closing. The home inspector got paid by me, and I was out $350. Lessons learned, next time I need to get proof of funds, and I need to just make sure and vet my clients a little bit better. But I was a young agent at the time. I was excited to get a new client, and of course he had liver cancer. I wanted to help the guy out. I think he actually called me 2 or 3 times during the process and just thanking me for everything, again, crying on the phone. He was very convincing. I got to give him credit. If there's an Academy Award that goes out to a scammer trying to buy a house in Findlay, Ohio, he would have won. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the story. There's more to come. I've got experiences every single day that I want to share with you guys and just kind of give you a little look and insight of what we do as real estate agents, what we kind of experience as real estate agents, because I think it's a lot of fun. But anyway, if you know of anybody looking to buy or sell a home that's not trying to scam me, of course, feel free to have them give me a call at 419-306-6015. Take care.